the Dirty Sports Podcast. I said, welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy, Ruther, and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Hueneme, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Good morning.
Morning.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Good. Short week here. I like it.
Short week? Oh, right. Yeah. Thanksgiving. My bad. So kids, daycare, is daycare open on Thanksgiving so you guys can enjoy yourselves, or how's this work?
No, they are closed on Thursday and Friday.
Okay. Wednesday they'll be there though. And then straight from daycare on Wednesday, you guys go out to the bars for that Thanksgiving Eve celebration.
Yeah, for sure. Bringing the 10-month-old, bringing the 2-year-old. We're going to do it. It's actually my birthday Wednesday, so
oh, right.
we're going to
43?
No, Eric Davis, 44.
The Eric Davis birthday. Little Cam Scattaboo.
I saw him was he doing some wrestling stuff?
Yeah. And people were like pissed about it because he was like, they're like, you're fucking hurt. What the fuck? And he's like, guys, all I want to do is play football, and I can't play football. Am I allowed to like do some other shit?
I would love to see an over-under on his time in the NFL, the way he plays. Like, I would wonder how many years. I would set it like 3.5.
I'll take the over on that, but then also you could get walloped on the under. I mean, there's a chance. I bet you there's Vegas lines that are like never again.
Well, technically, according to the NFL, you can't bet those sort of things.
Yeah. It's lit. Let's go.
But you could probably go over to Kalshi or like Poly Market or one of those.
Yeah.
Which I don't really fully understand. You just go over to one of those. You can bet anything on those.
Yeah.
Right? But is that real money or is that like digital currency?
I have no idea. I've never used one, so I don't know. But I mean, at this point, crypto is real money, right?
Yeah.
Like you can deposit crypto, bet, pull out crypto into cash, like pretty fucking seamlessly.
Yeah, Kalshi accepts debit cards, bank transfers, crypto, wire transfer, credit cards. I don't know. It's crazy times. I actually learned something very interesting today from one of my brothers when we were watching our high school football game on Friday. He said that states that legalize cannabis don't actually get he goes, it's a myth that you get more tax revenue. And I was like, how is that possible? They're taxing it. He goes, here's why. People like us, because we weren't really drinking. We had THC drinks. He goes, that's why. Because the alcohol tax goes the revenue that the state sees on the alcohol tax goes way down because more people are like us. And they're like, I'm just going to have 1 or 2 drinks on like a cannabis drink. And they're not going to see as much revenue. It's based upon like the alcohol then revenue. I was like, oh, that's fascinating.
Well, okay. So I mean, they're still getting the revenue from.
No, yeah, that's what he was saying. But he was saying they actually end up getting less because, again, it eats into the alcohol industry, which I just never would have thought of as far as from a tax purposes. I thought it was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Go Bombers, by the way. Big win for us. Shout out my high school.
The Bombers?
Yeah. We're playing. I think it's a cool nickname.
Now aren't you Xavier Prep?
St. Xavier High School.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's college. It's college prep, but yeah, the Bombers.
I didn't know. I didn't know if you were like I didn't know if it was like a direct thing from Xavier.
Yeah, no, it's not. So St. Xavier High School, Nice little turnout. The Bengals Stadium, they got over 22,000. And it was rainy and shitty. I had the brothers over, you know.
Now where do they air that?
So they aired it on Spectrum if you lived in Ohio and you had Spectrum. But then if you didn't, like me, I had to pay $10 through the Ohio High School Athletic Association to stream it. $10.
Yeah.
And then I almost went back to Dirty Sports Day, the medium pizza bowl. I made some controversial decisions on the food.
Oh, here we go.
So, you know, I was expecting all my brothers. My one brother Brad did not show up, which has turned into a whole thing on our group chat. But anyway, so there's 4 of us. So I thought, and my brother Greg was like, I'm gonna bring over a bunch of leftover Cisco food that I have since he works for Cisco. I was like, okay. He's bringing over food. He's like, I got pasta salad. I assumed he had more. He actually didn't have that much. But point was, he's like, I'm bringing over a bunch. He hyped it up, and I was like, okay. There's us. There's 4 of us. I do got to feed Brittany and Isla, but like they don't eat much. I'm gonna get two XL pizzas from Raimundo's.
Oh, sorry. Give me the total adults and total children.
5 adults, 1 kid.
5 adults, 1 kid.
So I said, okay, there's a good pizza place by us called Raimundo's, and I said, why don't I order a couple? They advertise them as XLs. I think they're probably just larges pizzas. I go order a couple. I go, but Isla and Brittany are more picky, so I'll do the one pizza. I'll do half cheese. That can be whatever they want. The other half of that is their hot pepperoni, and then this is where it gets. I don't know what I was thinking. So they got a whole other large. And I'm like, well, my brother's like, now you could just go with the basic. I was like, but they're like me. They'll try eat a lot of stuff. I don't know why. I did a full large of a pizza I've never eaten. It was like their Uncle Frank's. They always call it like their Uncle Frank's like special sausage. But it was like a margarita pizza, but with sausage. Which it ended up being almost like the way they dressed it was almost like a sweet pizza. And my brothers were they're like, dude, you ordered a whole large of something you've never tried that has it, but it's not a normal margarita pizza. It's got his sausage, like it's a very specialty pizza. And my brother's like, this we're not like feeling this. So then I was like, okay, I'll go pick up. There's Gold Star Boss. Like, I'll go pick up a Coney crate.
Wait, okay. So what was the pizza order? What ended up coming? What was the pizza order?
So I'm saying I ordered a large.
You ordered an extra large,
the margarita pizza, but again, it's not the.
So you had extra large margarita sausage.
Yeah.
You had extra large cheese and pepperoni.
Correct.
And that was for 5 adults and 1 child.
Yeah.
And no third additional pizza.
No third additional pizza. My brother's like,
yeah,
he's like, I'm bringing a lot of food.
Okay. Well, so if you're just getting ancillary pizza.
But they were murdering me.
I mean, listen. You could have got. Here's what you should have done. You should have done an extra large of your cheese, an extra large of their pepperoni, and then if you were like, oh well, let me just get a large of the Frank's special. Maybe people like it, maybe people don't. But then also there's like, yo, you're coming over to watch a football game, pizza. Like it's not like you went Nutella and onion. Like if I'm over there, I'll be like, that's all right. I guess I'll choke down 8 slices of this Frank's special.
Exactly. They were killing me on that order. And it wasn't even that there was like that much lack of food, to be honest. Because these are
they were just like, we don't feel it, and now it's sitting there and it's full.
Yeah. These are like big ass slices.
Then your brother bringing over food, and then you getting those pizzas, and then you go in and getting chili is wild.
Well, it was halftime. I said I'm still kind of hungry because I could tell
so
my
all
brother
those pizza got eaten.
No, because there was like a couple pieces left of the Uncle Frank special, and I was like,
"You're okay, like, I'm still hungry. Are you guys still hungry?"
Yeah, and by the way, I would have finished it. I just said, okay. I said, why don't I put in an order? Get some Gold Star. I'll swing over, put in the app order at halftime. Which yeah, it was definitely reckless. I was like, now I'm bringing back 10 cheese conies and 2 Doritos. Like, we can do though. You know, I mean, you're gonna eat it. We all crushed it. Every one of us was like, we should not be adding conies to this mix, and then we all ate it.
I mean, you ordered pizza. Why don't you just get wings with the pizza?
I agree. But you know what
there's like a you know
what throws me off? It's the kid factor.
Every once in a while, you find yourself in a situation. It's pretty easy. You got yourself a first down. You're first and goal from the 2. Don't overthink it. Off tackle, play action, hit the tight end that's wide open. That doesn't work. Off tackle, regular. Now we're passing the ball. I mean, if you go from the 2, first and goal from the 2, if you go play action off tackle and your tight end's not wide open and you go play action and then you next one you just go straight off tackle run. I'd love to see the success rate. I'd love to see how many teams make it to third down. If that's your play. You show up, you have people over for football and you're like, I am getting the largest pizza that there is, and I'm going to account for one of those large pizzas for every 2 people. And then I'm adding wings on. I'd love to see how many people get to third down there. You're like, I got 6 people. I need 3 extra larges and a big thing of wings. I got 5 people. Okay, I guess I'm still going 3 extra larges and some wings.
So here was my thought process, though. I didn't want a bunch of shit left here. That's truth, because I'm finally learning, like, it's going to me. Like I don't need to just keep eating all this shit, truthfully, especially if I'm a little stoned and it's midnight, my brother's leaving. I'm just like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I will. So there was that factor. And also I was trying to factor getting my family fed. And then my brothers weren't coming over till like 7:15, 7:30. Yeah. So I was like, okay. So then I was like trying to plan out, which I think threw me off. I was like, okay. I was like, so if I order this, can you come pick it up on your way home from work? So that way the girls can get food. We can feed them and you at 5:30. My brothers aren't coming over, because initially I was like, I'll just have my brother pick up the pizza, but I'm like, but then my kids are going to be going to bed. So I can't do that. So I think that threw me off, and then I just got ridiculously reckless and careless.
When you order the pizza, you call it in, or you like app it?
I would normally do online, but I had they had like one of those like local coupons. You know, my cheap ass. I was like, oh, $8 off, and he orders $40 more. Let's do that.
So if you're calling in, now I'm just going pizza. Now I'm just going, used to work at a pizza restaurant style for you. You should have been like, listen, here's what I'm doing. We get all this food and put an order on, pay for it now. My wife's coming by, hand her one of these pizzas. Then my brother's coming by at 7. He's going to pick up the rest of the order because we got football to watch. Boom.
That would have made
everybody gets fresh pizza.
That would have made so much.
Because you know what? Because you know what? The other thing is, you have no idea how that Frank's is received if that Frank's comes in piping hot.
That's true.
Does that sauce take on a little sweetness as it, gets to like room temp? Hard to say.
It's good pizza, by the way. I don't know. Whatever. My brothers, whatever. Beggars can't be choosers, man. But I want to order again. If I have them over again, there's talks. You guys rolling over the state semis, because we just don't get together. We don't get together enough, and I'm like, why don't we?
So, is it all the brothers?
Minus Brad.
Okay.
But I'm saying, normally.
What's Brad doing?
He's claiming he fell asleep. I don't buy it. He's like,
he was invited. He just no-showed on you.
He called no-showed.
No call, no show.
He ghosted. Okay. So then we left him hate voicemails during halftime, which I could not play on air. Because I was like, you got to send those voicemails out to the brothers. We need to hear what we were saying to you.
You guys are just all stoned on fucking weed drinks.
Yeah, just being ridiculous. Cancel. But yeah, we really don't get to like I'm talking just the brothers, which we should. I'm like, why do we not get together? Why do we do this once or twice a year? Just the 5 of us. Like, why? I mean, it's stupid.
5 people's hard to arrange.
It
Five
is.
different lives.
It is. But something like that, I think the last time maybe might have like where it's just the 5 of us was probably last year for the Tyson fight at my house. Let's air quotes fight, the Jake Paul thing.
You should just pick a day. You should just be like, yo, first Fridays, we do this. And then without fail, somebody's going to bail. But if let's say you did first Fridays every month, like every 2 or 3 months, it's going to be the whole shebang. And then you can just like mixed. First Fridays, we're doing like a brothers hang, whoever shows.
Yeah.
Rotate houses, that kind of thing. I don't know. Whatever.
That would be good. Plus, Isla, I think she thought they were like moving into my basement. She kept being like, my uncles are in the basement, like just playing with them. And like woke up the next day. She's like, she goes, so the uncle's still in the basement. I was like, they didn't move in.
Let's hope not. We have serious problems if any of your uncles are still in the basement.
Well, in that case, you're on overnight duty. I like where we're at in this football season.
You like where we're at in this football season?
I like where we're at.
Okay.
Talk to me.
Tell me more.
I like this stretch. I'm wearing a Rams hat. I like where the Rams are at.
Yeah. Rams looking like the most complete team in football. And listen, I know from week in and week out, we have, Monday, the Monday reaction show is always, this team's done, this team's whatever. But the thing about the Rams is since their Super Bowl win, they've been in the mix because they have a great coach. They have a great GM that, is constantly finding pieces, undervalued pieces in the draft, grabbing guys, in free agency here and there that are good fits. They have a great quarterback. And suddenly, it came together. I mean, quickly, you remember the post Super Bowl Rams thing was like, this team's done for a while because they maxed out. They put themselves in cap death town and whatever. Let's not forget. And I stand by this, and it's you can call me Eagle hater all you want. That game's played even in Philly, not in the snow. I think the Rams are the only team. I mean, the Rams are the only team that competed with Philly in the playoffs last year. I think they beat them. But they add Devontae Adams this year, who's been great. They just keep getting better on defense. Matthew Stafford started out the year, with a little bit of health issues, but now seems not just healthy, but, dialed in.
Best he's ever played, arguably.
Yeah. And then you go back to the beginning of the equation, which you have a great coach who's been a great coach the whole time. And they're a team that's been hanging around the mix without the players, with the cap situation, without a healthy Matt Stafford. Now it's all come together. And it feels like, I'll just say it, it feels like a last hurrah situation for Matthew Stafford, whether it be this year or next year. Like, I don't think you see, like, for example, and we're getting way ahead of ourselves, but I think if the Rams were to win the Super Bowl, that Matthew Stafford would probably retire.
Really?
Yeah. I just think, how much money does a guy need to make? What do you like? Are you really running it back? It's so easy if you win a Super Bowl to walk away and say, especially at the quarterback position, am I putting myself through this all again to maybe win it? But it's the NFL and the Super Bowl. Super Bowls aren't easy to come by, going back to back. If you win this one, and you're saying, well, I want to win one more, I want to win 3. You kind of got to count yourself in for 2 to 3 more years. So it feels like the next big long playoff run where the Rams can smell it would be the end of Matthew Stafford. That's my opinion. there's been no talk of that. No, whatever. He's obviously playing great, but he's struggled with some injuries. I mean, how old is he at this point? Late 30s?
I'm going to say 37,
37,
38.
yeah.
It's 30. Oh, yeah, he'll be 38 next year.
Yeah.
February. I mean, he's doing some, like, I don't think enough, maybe finally people are talking about it. I believe he's outside of maybe Brady, Peyton Manning, and Mahomes. I believe he's the fourth player to ever have start the year off with 30 touchdowns to less than 5 interceptions. 30-2 is what he's doing. I mean, they are the most complete. Like that's not an argument to me. It's not even close. I like honestly, and I know it's just one game, but it's not because they're on a big winning streak and they have the front runner for the MVP and everything you said. The defense is great and they have a Super Bowl winning head coach. I mean, Devontae Adams, they add in the offseason. He's leading the NFL in touchdown catches. It's like they're just adding pieces. I honestly don't know who's close to both sides. The full complete team. I don't know who's close. Denver has so many questions on offense, so many questions with their head coach. Patriots are still very young. Drake May did not have a good game yesterday.
Well, let's we both love Vrabel.
Yeah, and I think they'll be there.
Let's I mean, listen, we don't really have to worry about that. That would be a potential Super Bowl matchup. But let's just play the, if we were picking teams that we believe in based on our model. Let's say theoretically you did Vrabel McVay wash. Let's say you call them even. I don't know. That might be a little bit disrespectful to everything Sean McVay's done. But let's just say it. Let's just say even. Quarterback, as great as Drake May has looked this year, he's not in Matthew Stafford's class yet. And defensively, they're not where the Rams are right now.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. I mean, again, Stafford's been doing this for so long. He's already won a Super Bowl MVP. He's had a game-winning drive in the Super Bowl. I mean, that was an ass kicking last night. That was a game I missed.
Yeah. No, absolute domination to start to finish. Those are the games where you go, oh, really? That's why it's not really an overreaction. Prime time football game against a team that's been playing the Bucs have played everybody tough regardless of the situation, home, away, 1:00, prime time, like whatever. Like they have the Bucs are a tough team. The Bucs, that Baker Mayfield factor, just like kind of like the never go away. They didn't have a chance to not go away. They showed up. They were like, you're already away. Like that was an absolutely dominating performance by the Rams. And that's a game where you're like, damn. I talk the last few years about, I'm famously, all the Bengals fans, Justin and the Bengals fans wanted to come at me when I said that the Bengals team that made the Super Bowl against the Rams that we're talking about weren't Super Bowl contenders because they lost to the Jets. I love to judge a team where I'm like, listen, you're going to lose to a dumpster fire team. I know it's any given Sunday in the NFL, but sometimes it's like, you're going to lose to a dumpster fire team. Do you really have that kind of football team that goes all the way? I'd love to go through those Patriots teams for the 15 fucking years in Super Bowl and see how many games they lost to known dumpster fires where they were favored by double digits or whatever. But on the flip side of that, when you have two teams, I mean, the Bucs are still leading the NFC South. The Bucs were a fucking fluke, crazy Baker play away from beating the Eagles. Like the Bucs are having a good season. This was a fun matchup for a Sunday night football game where it's like, hey, I don't have to watch anything else. I have to watch just this in prime time. The same way as I judge teams that lose, I judge teams when you go into a game going, this is going to be a good game, and it's a pure out ass whooping. by two teams that we earmarked as contenders, 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, 100%. And with ease, like that game is just with ease.
It wasn't interesting. Like, dude,
No.
I
finished. To be honest, I turned it off to finish a movie I'd started the night before.
I got back into town yesterday, leave tomorrow. I'm like running around the house doing laundry, repacking the bag or whatever. I put it on. I think it was 14-0 or whatever. I was like, phew. I think they scored the second later. And I was like, I didn't even get to watch this game.
Yeah.
I missed the first 15 minutes. It's over.
Yeah. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater getting in there. So,
and it's not like Matt Stafford is second half Jalen Hurts, where you just go up 21-0 and that's it. You might still lose this game because you're a completely total fraud. But, so when they went up 21-0, I was like, this game is good night and good luck.
Well, to me, just like I'm saying, the Rams are that much above everyone else. I feel the same way with the MVP race. Like, I just don't like Drake May is having a nice season. Don't get me wrong. He just, come on, man. And let's not forget, the Rams schedule does matter. It does matter who you're playing. It really does. And like the Rams, they're going through the gauntlet.
And also, when you talk about the MVP race, when we say like we've talked on this show across sports, across the NFL, obviously with quarterbacks versus other things, et cetera, et cetera. When you talk about most valuable player, you can get in the weeds on that a little. But in terms of voting, in terms of like picking an MVP, if you had to bet on who was going to win the MVP this year, Matthew Stafford, having the 1 seed in the NFC right now, being a guy who has a career of being an elite quarterback, and never having the MVP, they can't wait to give it to him.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think for me, definitely is just like a rooting interest. We talked about this last bit. Like I love the thought of a guy's been in the league that long getting it after never getting it. Like, I just think it's cool. I think it's one of the reasons I love sports. Like, this guy's he was stuck in the basement of Detroit for all those years. I mean, he's basically, Matt Stafford in Detroit is basically Silence of the Lambs. He's basically stuck down that well or whatever.
I thought you were going to go with a different one for it. I was like, I was like, Ruther is just about to nail this one. I was like, Matthew Stafford is Sloth from Goonies.
It is.
He's just chained to a wall. They're feeding him bones and stuff like that. And then Sean McVay comes in, fucking chunk in the Hawaiian shirt. And I mean, the second he meets Sean McVay's like, you want a piece of candy? And he's like, baby Ruth. And the next thing you know, cut to like 3 years later, he's got a fucking knife in his teeth. He's sliding down ropes. He's got a Superman chest out.
That's hilarious. It's true. I mean, it really is true. So, again, obviously we'll see it play out, but as far as especially the NFC, it's like the Eagles have a lot of questions. You're already taking a lot, as usual, digs at Jalen Hurts. They blew 3-touchdown lead. I just don't know why, like, they can be good one half and then just literally forget how to play football offensively, and then another half.
Well, if you want my take, it's that they actually don't forget how to play football. It's that one team adjusts to them and they don't adjust. They can't counterpunch. The Jalen Hurts quarterbacking thing, whether you want to believe it or not, and I get that he's a Super Bowl MVP, and this is no fucking, I'm like, this isn't me saying Jalen Hurts is trash or whatever, but great defense, great running game, elite receivers, all that stuff. It's like, What was Jalen Hurts again before they had those elite receivers? What was Jalen Hurts pre-Saquon Barkley? What was Jalen Hurts like now without a great defense? Now, listen, I know that they got to the Super Bowl. He also, in that game, turned over the ball, single-handedly lost them the game, essentially. But yesterday, the I only throw balls to guys who are wide open, or I throw the fuck it and chuck it ball to A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith is a strategy that works, especially when they give it certainly feels like the directive to Jalen Hurts is if it's not wide open or it's not a 3rd and 10 play where you go the fuck it and chuck it, just run. Just run. And by the way, incredible to have a quarterback who can do that. Jalen Hurts is an elite scrambler. And smartly, besides the butt fuck, they don't run a ton of Jalen Hurts designed runs. They run a couple here and there, but they don't run a ton. And that's good. Don't put your quarterback in a position to get hurt. Let him scramble. In the first half, he was scrambling. In the second half, they were spying him. They were containing him. They went out of their way to stop Jalen Hurts from turning those plays where somebody's not wide open into a sack. Now, I've said on the show, at some point, a quarterback's got to drive that ball down the field, guys open or not, make those fucking plays. Yesterday in the second half, Jalen Hurts wasn't doing that. They were doing just as, they were doing it. Because in the first half, they were doing a halfway decent job playing defense on the receivers as well. Couple big plays from the guys, couple fuck it and chuck it plays. But mostly, Jalen Hurts breaking their backs on 3rd down by escaping and getting a first down. Second half, they didn't do that, and they give up 24 straight points to lose the game. They scored 0 points in the second half. And I don't know. Listen, I don't want to start this because people know my opinions on this guy, and it'll just set Eagles fans off. But I have taken digs at another quarterback on this show, and the response was, well, he won a Super Bowl, so get the fuck off his dick. And he went to another Super Bowl, so get the fuck off his dick. But there was another quarterback that I've talked about at length on this show who won a Super Bowl where their defense dominated, and he really didn't have to play a game. And it was the second half of that game got a lot more free, a lot more throw the ball around because the defense was dominating to the point where it was like it was over whether the offense was on the field or not. And then in the second game of that quarterback's career, a second Super Bowl, that quarterback turned the ball over and single-handedly lost the game.
Obviously, you're talking about Russell Wilson.
And Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Such great deep ball throwers. I love that. It's my favorite. My favorite thing is like the deep ball thrower convo.
Well, Jalen's actually played better in those 2 Super Bowls, I could argue. I mean, he obviously had that big the fumble, but I'd argue he played better in his 2 Super Bowls than Russell Wilson did.
Sure.
Hence the MVP. I'm curious to see as far as the NFC.
The 32 or 31st or whatever it was ranked Cowboys defense yesterday. Pitches a second half shutout.
Yeah.
By spying you.
That George Pickens trade is kind of interesting now looking back at it.
Hell yeah.
I didn't hate it at the time.
I didn't hate it, but like also, is that the Cowboys thing is that your problem?
I'm talking about for the Steelers. Like, I didn't hate them getting rid of Pickens. And I picked up Metcalf, and it's like you got another kind of diva. Now Pickens is having a much better year.
The Steelers, listen, you can't really question at this point the Steelers letting go of a receiver that was great for them. How many times have they done it? And you're like, well, That's the best we've seen of this player and this player and this player and this player and this player. And smartly, I really think it's hard to criticize that Steelers team when you say all the things we said in the Big Ben, Eli conversation last week, which is like their defense is always good. They're always protecting the quarterback. They always have a running game. It's like year in and year out and year in and year out. And it's like that's that model that the Chiefs have found, that the Giants, even in the couple years they won those Super Bowls, Peyton Manning a little bit, Brady seems a little bit. We're not just going out and fucking throwing a ton of money at a receiver, because look at how we can spend that money elsewhere. And if we believe in this team, Tom Brady will just, what's that guy's name? The white Jewish kid? Yeah, what's his name? Does he want to be a Super Bowl MVP? Get him in here. It's like fucking doing the Woody Harrelson where he's like stretching. He's like, you want to be a Super Bowl MVP? Come on. He taking the white boy.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to Julian Edelman. He'll be tomorrow's guest on More Stories. Check out More Stories wherever podcasts are available. YouTube, Spotify, etc.
Yeah, man, Super Bowl MVP.
That's right.
Well, you know, it is interesting to see that. By the way, Ravens in first place. Just saying. And they're going to beat the Bengals this week too. Sorry, Justin. Even though Brrr.
Is it official now? They were like he's good to go, but we'll give him one more week.
No, I don't know. You know, it's Thanksgiving, so we'll see.
Short week. They play the Thanksgiving. Who do they play at? They play
the Ravens.
Ravens on Thanksgiving
Night.
That's the third game of
good. Now that's probably the worst game for sure, but good slate of games, man. We got Lions, Packers, Cowboys, Chiefs. First two.
Lions, Packers will be fun.
Well, that's an interesting division now, man. I mean, the Bears win again. They're 8-3. They're I don't think they're anything. I don't think they're really that good, but I think they're, still a year or two away. But damn, man. Good chance they get double-digit wins this year. First-year head coach. And that's kind of a dumpster fire franchise at this point. Now, do I think they win the division? No. Either the Packers or the Lions. I'm going to stick with the Packers.
Listen, the great news for the Bears, first-year head coach, okay, they're a year or two away or whatever. You got a quarterback. You got a coach and a quarterback. Guess what? If you're a longtime Chicago Bears fan, you're like, Andy Ruther and Joe Prano, they're three keys to Super Bowl, coach, quarterback, defense. I'll take my chances if I'm a longtime Bears fan that we figure out the defense. From I know it's the players and the coaches and the whatevers are all different, and you're really just rooting for laundry. But historically, the Bears can figure out defense. They can't. Historically, the Bears have never figured out a quarterback. They've got a quarterback, coach, a little bit TBD, but so far so good.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, they got to be feeling great.
I know our Reddit audience is like 3 more years before we can really determine Caleb Williams, but
I mean, even if they just implode and there's like 9-8, like nobody saw you guys having a winning record, truthfully. I mean, like I said, you get to 10 wins. It's a huge win for a first-year head coach. I still think the Packers win that division. I think their defense is way more complete than the Lions. I don't know what happened to you guys yesterday.
Well, it happens what do you mean? This is the equivalent of Andy being like, I ordered 2 medium pizzas and people left upset. I don't know. We've seen the thing. First of all,
I know, but now you're firing the defensive coordinator of the Giants. It's like,
oh, did they?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, great. That's great news. Well, first of all, he sucks.
But why did why didn't you fire him when you fired Dable is my point.
I probably should have. But, if you're doing this and if there's any sort of like, okay, you fire your head coach, you make Mike Kafka the interim head coach. I have no insider knowledge on this, but I would assume that part of this is we are going to evaluate him as a potential head coach. So if you're him and they tell you that, okay, you got an interim head coach situation, you want to fire your defensive coordinator today along with you, and then you can figure out how to like, I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, give me a couple weeks to evaluate him working under me as opposed to how he worked under Dable, who doesn't get along with anybody, blah, 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 blah. So, but he's been bad the whole fucking time. And I'll say another thing. Another part of the Dable firing conversation that wasn't really talked about because everything that happened with Dart and everything that happened with, he's obviously tied to a GM and he's tied to whatever, was the Giants had a great defensive coordinator. I don't know about great, but a good defensive coordinator in Wink Martindale the last couple of years. And he left on his own accord because he didn't like the head coach. So we already were in a situation where we had to replace a defensive coordinator that didn't need replacing because of the head coach. And we replaced him with somebody who is shit. And we replaced him with like the Giants have talent on defense and still can't figure out how to get stops toward the end of games. So that guy was going in the offseason. Who cares? Get fucked.
Yeah, okay, fair. I guess at this point, I just saw you guys are number 2 currently in the draft.
Behind Tennessee?
Behind Tennessee. If the season ended today.
Yeah. Well, at this point, you don't want to win games.
That's what I'm saying. You want to keep losing.
But also yesterday, listen. I've talked a lot of shit about Jared Goff, the Lions. So I was like, listen, if they lose to Jameis, there'll be a little silver lining despite it hurting our draft thing. And also the other factor with, the draft pick situation is I don't know anything about what's happening in college football this year. I don't know who's earmarked as like the absolute best of the best talent wise, but obviously the Giants have a quarterback. So they don't have to be at the top of the thing to draft whatever. Also, Tennessee has a quarterback. So
do they?
Well, they're not drafting a guy. They're not drafting a guy first overall back-to-back years.
No, they're not. I'm just saying.
Right.
No,
I'm saying in terms of the draft situation.
There's a lot of chatter already about JJ McCarthy already. It's wild. Like there's a lot of chatter of like, did we completely botch this?
Yeah. Which is fair because when you look at, the Kevin O'Connell situation and everybody, and did I ever buy in entirely? Kevin O'Connell, fucking genius. No, I didn't. But you can't argue with what he was able to do with Kirk Cousins, what he was able to do with Sam Darnold. It's like it's hard to have Sam Darnold as a measuring stick and not live up to that in any way, shape, or form, and not have people be like, fuck it. Let's try again.
I mean, he's not playing good, dude. I keep thinking they're gonna come in and like these games you just never feel like they're in them. Truthfully, it's a problem.
And I haven't watched a ton of him. I would say I've watched just as much as I did when he was in college because like it was just forced on you because they were playing these big games and they were winning these big games. The problem with JJ McCarthy that I never really understood, he never seemed like he was a prototypical NFL.
I agree.
So, but then it was like these intangibles and this win. It felt like they were trying this Tom Brady thing, like, oh, it's a Michigan guy, he just knows how to win. Oh, he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, but you watch 5 minutes of, which is basically how I look at college guys because I don't care for the college game. It's like when the draft's getting ready to happen, or when you watch you watch a 5-minute highlight tape of JJ McCarthy and Caleb Williams. You're like, well, one of those guys is really fucking good at quarterback. The other guy, I guess, is TBD.
Yeah, that's true. Again, I never have had a problem with them going in on their guy they drafted and getting rid of Darnold. We saw
Right. Well, and that's also why they draft. Like, there's so many factors, but it just feels like maybe, yeah. I don't know. Everybody wants to tell me the head coach is a genius. I assume he had a big say in who they drafted.
Yeah, well, let's talk about two dumpster fires who played yesterday. I want to talk about the Raiders real quick and the Browns.
Before we move on from my Giants, I just want to say, like, you were like, well, what's going on? Can we just agree on one thing? Like, for all the Jameis lovers, I mean, Jameis is like still doing shit like he's still having a good time post game with whatever. Like, that's a classic. There's never been a more Jameis thing where he's like, he's still having fun despite the fact that they fucking blew the game and lost. Jameis, like, yeah, dude, it can be fun for 3.5 quarters. But in the end, time is a flat circle is what I put on Twitter yesterday. In the end, Jameis is going to fucking choke the game away. He's going to turn into a pumpkin. He's going to throw the pick. He's going to get fumble. He's going to have a fumble. He's going to get sacked. He's just going to start whatever. And it's like, bro, I'm just so sick. And I mean, this is going on 5 years now. I'm just so sick of being like, but Jameis is fun. Guys, fucking, if you think Jameis is fun, you just fucking love losing. You love fucking losing.
Yeah. No, he does. He like by the end, he's just gonna mess it up, man. We gotta stop Jameis 101 though. We gotta stop him. Now he's referring to Matthew.
Yeah.
He's referring to Matthew Stafford as white Jameis Winston. White Jameis Winston? He called Joe Flacco homeless Jameis Winston. Now he's calling Matt Stafford white Jameis Winston.
I'll give Jameis a little bit of credit in that I think this is how much. But by the way, who was it was Joe Prano the first person on Jameis fucking sucks corner? Like, I was out here like, yo, this guy's a fucking rapist bust. People are like, all right, take it easy. I think the Giants would still be in contention and would have a season to fight for if Jameis had started week 1 instead of Russ. If they had done the Jameis into Dart plan instead of the Russ into Dart plan, I think the season will be wildly different. That is more of a knock on Russ than it is a slurping of Jameis, because I hate Jameis. That's how fucking bad Russ Wilson is. But in the end, Jameis, he's an anti-clutch.
Yeah,
he's anti-clutch.
He really is.
Jameis is like, bro, middle of the second quarter, catching his own passes, stiff arming guys. You're like, he's a highlight machine. Fourth quarter, he's like, fall down, throw it to the other team, dropped interception.
Yeah, no, he really fourth quarter, everything just disappears. The Raiders, and I didn't even realize this. I'm sure I did, but I wasn't paying attention. So the Raiders fired Chip Kelly. I didn't even realize Chip Kelly was their OC. I haven't paid that much attention. Did you know he was the highest paid? This is such a Raiders move. Do you know what the Raiders were paying Chip Kelly as the OC this year?
No.
$6 million.
What?
$6 million.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So, he was Ohio State's OC last year.
Okay.
Which, whatever. They won a title. Cool. We all know the talent that Ohio State has every fucking year.
Yeah.
So the Raiders Paid him $6 million. He's already fired. He lasted 11 games. God, they are such a dumpster fire. What a mess. And then Shedeur had his first game yesterday, his first start, and he won. We haven't really talked about him because there's nothing to talk about because he was a third stringer. But I do want to talk about him for a second because he does this interview post game. It's a quick one. I'll play a couple things.
Okay.
This is a quick hitter after the game.
Crazy. It's amazing, off of 1 week of practice, you know what I mean? This 1 week of practice. So imagine, what a full offseason look like. It get dangerous. But it's just a 1 week of practice. So I'm just truly thankful, that everything happened.
Okay, so he's talking about how, 1 week of practice.
The second greatest practice. The second greatest interview where somebody says practice 8 times.
Yeah, exactly. Of course. That's what I was thinking. I go, this is reminiscent of Allen Iverson. So Shedeur, by the way, out of curiosity, I did have that game up a fair amount on my TV screen. He made one nice throw. He finished 11 of 20 for 209 yards, a TD, and interception. Here's my thing I want to say about him, though. I'm sure a lot of people were saying this already today. Like he has the cockiness of his dad. His dad was literally one of the best athletes of all time. But that's what he needs to learn. But I don't care if a guy's cocky or brash if they back it up. Dude, you're a 5th round pick.
Okay, listen. You can. This is a complicated question.
To me, Deion is charming because you know me. I've always loved Deion. I've always loved Deion because he backs it up because he's a generational player.
Deion was still annoyingly cocky.
But he can be, is my point.
Yeah, but you know what? He was about baseball and he hit 160. I'm taking a helicopter to the game. Deion don't need batting practice. Deion don't need batting practice to start in center field in the World Series. Deion does need batting practice. You suck. Like that, we can Shedeur is Deion in baseball. Like that's where Shedeur is. But listen, Deion was annoyingly cocky. Annoyingly. Now, you can say he backed it up on the field. I don't think it matters. Like, I think I'm sure at the end of Deion's career, when Deion lost a step, Deion's mouth didn't lose a step. And he's his father's son. And the thing about Deion that you have to remember when it comes to Shedeur is as great as Deion was, okay? As great as Deion was, people regard him even higher than he was because he talked. In the end, Darrelle Revis, was Darrelle Revis a better corner? Maybe. Now, Deion did a lot of other things.
This would have to be a deep dive. I don't know.
Deion's doing a lot of other things. He's returning punts. He's his pick six ability. But the reason
he played both ways a lot of those games.
He didn't play both ways a lot of those games. They had the random packages here and there.
I'm just saying.
I know. I'm just saying. Now, the thing about the pick six sitch is because they threw at Deion occasionally. So no doubt about it. Deion Sanders is incredible with the football in his hands. Insane. But I think the undisputed greatest corner of all time has a lot to do with Deion Sanders telling people I'm the undisputed greatest of all time. And it's insane for his son to do what he's doing and bring Deion's level of ego to it. But at the same time, this is a big part of the whole Sanders, the Prime family. The family Prime. This is going to be it's for sure going to be a fucking Bravo show one day. The Family Prime. The primes.
And I live with somebody who will watch it. I know that
Yeah.
much. I mean, look.
I'll say one thing about Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders, the whole thing. I know everybody feels the way you do about this interview. They felt that way about Colorado. You can't, and we talked about it. You can't fucking sit here and tell me
He put up numbers at Colorado, though.
Right. But that anybody gave a shit about Colorado football before they were there, that Shedeur Sanders isn't, a top probably 2 quarterback in the history of Colorado, that all this stuff. Now, we know, and we've talked about it. I don't know if I ever fucking really dug into it, but like, we know that not only was Shedeur Sanders overhyping himself and Deion overhyping himself and ESPN overhyping Shedeur. So that's what made the conversation ever that he was going to be a top 3 pick. Now we know why he fell to the 5th round, but I'm not going to sit here and go like Shedeur Sanders fucking stinks and he'll never be good for the Browns.
Well, I'm not saying that either. All I'm saying
now,
is
everything we know about his insane fucking shit makes me lead to think that. But there's been some crazy motherfuckers that ended up excelling despite their mental illness at sports.
I don't know what he'll be. The point of me playing this, and again, I'm sure I haven't really looked into it, but the point is like, dude, you are being so cocky after you beat the Raiders and you go 11-20. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe just tone it down. When the real star, and we talk about MVP, the real star is in the other side of the ball. And Myles Garrett, who had 3 sacks, that's now his 8th 3-sack game in his career, which puts him in pretty elite territory. I mean, you can make a strong argument, even though the Browns suck. You can make a very strong argument he's right up there in the MVP race because you're like, he is that important to that defense, which in essence is that important to that team because the offense sucks. I mean, he's probably going to break the all-time record. He's on pace this year for most sacks in the season.
Wow.
To like blow by it. Truthfully. I just think Shedeur, like, I'll play this one too. It's just so funny to me because it's like, I think you can see he still wants to take street cred.
Well, I mean, Shedeur Sanders to me seems like you're talking about Myles Garrett on pace to break the season sack record. You know, Shedeur Sanders is like, yo, what if we wearing suits and we got guns and we're back to back and the picture's like double trouble, He's like, it could be like a fucking, it's like you're Jackie Chan, I'm Chris Tucker, double trouble. Like we could do like a fucking buddy cop movie. And he's like, motherfucker, I'm going to break the single season sack record. And you went 5 for 12.
I mean, he had 18 sacks in 11 games. That's insane. That's the most he's ever had in a season. There's 6 games left. If he gets a sack a game, the overall record's 22.5. This is what Shedeur had to say post-game. I thought it was pretty funny.
It's always great at understanding perspectives and stuff because you got to really take a deep dive at how we grew up. Like when we grew up, my dad had us in a 30,000 square foot home. Then after that, he took us to go play ball in the inner city. After that, we transferred and he moved us across town because he wanted us to get that dog in us, to have that mentality, to have that it factor in us. So then we went to charter schools, and I don't know if you're familiar with charter schools, and it's not the best, but you got a lot of different people from different situations that you got to be able to adapt to. So that's where all those core different things of being able to relate, being able to understand. But now, since I went through everything the past 6 months, it led me to a whole different understanding, and it led me in my own experience with God, with having.
Okay, we don't have to go into that. You know what I find hilarious here is like, first of all, I don't know if that's accurate. Do you guys have big a 30,000 square foot houses?
Yeah.
Bro, my house is like 2,800 square feet. More than 10 of my houses.
Yeah.
But I love how he's like.
It probably is accurate, by the way, because Deion Sanders played for the Cowboys in the 90s. I don't know if you know anything about Texas real estate. Did you ever see the fucking Tracy McGrady when he played in Houston house?
No.
Oh. It was a small country. And he was like, yeah, I rent this for like $4,000 a month. I'm like, that's what I pay.
I am looking at that house. I mean, that house is 23,000 square feet.
Yeah.
But I just love, again, it's like.
I like the charter school thing. It's like, I don't know if y'all know about charter schools, but yeah, my dad dropped me off in a helicopter, but like not all the kids had helicopters. You know what I mean?
Charter school,
a lot of them had to take like the bus.
Like
now listen, there was one year where I took the bus because my dad thought it would be cool to pay Jerome Bettis to piggyback me to school. But it's like different kinds of buses, you know?
No, charter schools are not that like. There's a way where like charter schools are not that bad.
Well, I mean, the thing about a charter school, they take the kids from the bad part and they're like, hey, we believe in you and whatever. Like, we're going to bust you in. And
so that to me, that's Shedeur being like, look, man, by the way,
I'm a real person. I'm a regular person. I'm just like you. I've had my ups and downs.
Dude, it's fine. You grew up like, by the way, it's not a problem, Shedeur. Like, you grew up, your dad earned it, rightfully so, elevated his family. That's the goal in life, right? You elevate your family from where you came from. That's why I always hate the term sellout. It's like, what does that fucking mean? You sell out. Like if you come from the hood or whatever and you make money, like who cares? It's not selling out. It's just elevating.
Well, listen, I think, yeah, whatever. We won't die. I mean, OJ said, I'm not black, I'm OJ.
Okay. That's a whole other discussion. My point was like moving to a nicer area.
Yeah.
Having nice things when you grew up, regardless of race, when you grew up in a bad situation, is just elevating everything. That's all I'm saying. And he clearly is in like some weird, which again, it's like, dude, you're in some weird denial about it. Now, look, do I think he has like longevity? No. And by the way, I'm not take everything else out of it. I'm just basing it off enough that I'm basing everything off of your 5th round pick and enough teams passed on you.
I'm basing it off he plays for the Browns.
And that. So, we'll see. Here would be a fun question for you.
I'm not like rooting against Shedeur Sanders.
I'm not either.
Way, shape, or form.
I don't really care. Here's a fun question.
I kind of like it because I love shit like that. Like those ridiculous interviews. I'm here for it.
Okay, here's a fun question then. Because we're talking about dumpster fire Browns, dumpster fire Raiders. Who makes the playoffs first? One's 3-8, the Browns. Raiders are 2-9. You have a Pete Carroll. We all know, like you made a great point last week. Like, at what point do we just bench Geno Smith? It just hasn't worked. Like, disaster.
I would say the Browns make it first based solely on division. Now you're probably like, whoa, AFC North's pretty tough, but it's like, yeah, but the Bengals are there.
West. Yeah.
The Bengals are there. So you got that. And I would say the same thing for the Bengals. The Browns are there. So you got that. The Steelers situation is, again, right now tied to a quarterback that is injured and aging. And at some point, they're going to have to figure out a quarterback situation there. How long does Mike Tomlin how long does Mike Tomlin Groundhog Day his life? I mean, he's in a very Groundhog Day. Like, Mike Tomlin has had the veteran quarterback injured in week 12, 13, 14. Now all of a sudden we were going to win the division, but we're not going to win the division, and we're going to go 10-7, and we're going to lose. How often do you do that before you're like, hey, man, I made a lot of football money. Like, I don't need to keep living the fucking Ned Ryerson. I got Ned Ryerson at quarterback every goddamn week. So, and the Ravens, I mean, you have a year from hell. They almost had a year from hell this year. You have a year from hell where Lamar Jackson just, doesn't like. My money would be on the Browns, based on like having nothing to do with who's their coach, who are their players, who are their whatever. Like the Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos look stable going forward.
Yeah. That's fair. We had a call I'm going to get to real quick. I must have missed this. This was probably left Friday morning after the Bills-Texans game. Let's see what we got here.
What's up, boys? This is Mike from Albany, New York. So the Bills, yeah, as a New Yorker, it's time to ask the question: are the Bills same old Bills? Are they going to putter out and not ever make a Super Bowl again? Especially, I know Alan Tan got hurt last night, whatever, but it's got that feeling to it. McDermott, to me, is turning into Philadelphia Andy Reid. I think Andy Reid was 10-9 in the playoffs. McDermott 7-7 in the playoffs. Similar win percentages. I don't know. Is it time to move on from McDermott? You never know. Yeah, just same old Bills. Not sure what's going on with them. But anyways, condoms are for celebrating playoff berths with champagne and ski goggles. All right, see ya.
Facts. Let's have a cup. I want to take this from a couple of angles. My first angle is, man, Bills fans went 30 years without winning a fucking playoff game. Now it's same old Bills winning a couple playoff games every year and not making the big game. Remember when the same old Bills were just not being in the playoffs at all? So, tap the brakes a little bit on the same old Bills, because you can't be the same old Bills for something that you've been doing for 5 seasons. Okay. That being said, another side note is, how many years do you want to be a 1 or 2 seed and have the MVP and run away with the AFC East and not do it? Maybe this is exactly what they need. Maybe they need to sneak in. Maybe they need to win a road playoff game. Maybe they need to take some people by surprise. Maybe they need to be counted out. If the Bills sneak into the playoffs, right, and are a 7 seed or a 6 seed and win a road game and then lose their second game, you've done exactly what you did the last couple of years, right? So it's not like this is a huge, now that being said, I fire McDermott. Counterpoint, I think the Bills have been better than they have shown in playoff games, in whatever. I have no problem if you say we've gotten as far as we can get with McDermott and we're going to fire him. I do. Now the counter to that would be, Joe, you just said we've only been doing, we never made the playoffs until he was here. So what if we hire somebody and we don't make the playoffs again? Well, it's a Super Bowl or bust league. You got to make that league. Sean McDermott has very much Tom Thibodeau on the Knicks feel. The Knicks were a fucking dumpster fire, and then the Knicks were making the playoffs every year and winning playoff series. And then the Knicks were like, hey, but we can't win a championship with him. Is Mike Brown the answer? I don't know.
Well,
but he's not the answer.
Let's just look at this right now, current standings. Obviously, things will change. The Bills are the last team in the playoffs. They're right 7 seed.
Yeah.
personally, I love this. Like if I'm a Bills fan, just matchup wise, I love this position. They're a 7 seed. You're at Denver. I'm taking the Bills without a doubt.
Who's the 1 seed right now?
New England.
Okay.
So that's my point. I like that. They win that game. Then you have another in-division game at New England, a team you're familiar with. Like, I like those two matchups to get you to an AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
I like that better than if you have to play KC. Even maybe like Baltimore. It's just I like those two matchups. So maybe it is better to not win the division. They probably won't at this point, truthfully.
Well, listen, winning the division, it's all about the matchups for the Bills, because look at you you keep running into the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So what are the chances if the Chiefs are the 6 or the 5 seed right now? Or are the Chiefs still out?
Chiefs are out.
Chiefs are out right now.
They're 10.
Right. 10. I think the Chiefs still get in, obviously.
I do too.
But the best news ever, if you're the Bills, if you're the fucking Bills and it's you and Chiefs, the 7 and the 6 seed, it's the best thing ever happened to you.
I agree.
Win the division.
I agree.
Can you imagine if you won the division and the Chiefs snuck in and all of a sudden you're the 2 seed and you got to welcome a 7 seed fucking Patrick Mahomes to Buffalo in week 1? You're like, fuck, why did we even win the division?
I mean, it's true.
Now, the counterpoint to that is you go back to week 1, the way the offense came back in that game. I am fine if you're a Bills fan and say, the reason I want to fire Sean McDermott is because the Bills are not currently the undefeated 1 seed. I'm like, okay, fine with me. NFL is a tough league, but like we did it in like week 2 or something like that, where I was like, they won't be underdogs in the game the rest of the year. And they might not have been, I don't know, but they certainly haven't run this. I think I had them at 8-0.
Yeah. Again, playoffs, different animal. And that quarterback is so important in the playoffs, who you have playing quarterback. It's just so important.
Now they got to start fucking protecting him.
Yeah, that's true. Is there anything else NFL wise that we want to cover?
Anything else we missed in games that must be discussed?
I mean, there was nothing that I had. I take notes on this stuff. There was nothing I had off the top of my head that I really wanted to really delve into as I scroll through these. No, Saints are working out Justin Tucker this week. By the way,
saw that.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I was waiting until a team did that.
They're like, you can have Jameis's locker.
Hey, let me ask you something, man.
Me? Yeah.
Yeah. How good is this year's Thunder? 17-1. Like, do we have potential to break this record?
We certainly have potential for it. They're 17-1.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we certainly have potential for it. Listen, when you talk about modern basketball franchise building, the Thunder are the equivalent of the McVay Rams on fucking steroids. Like they're built, they did all the things and they acquired all the picks and they whatever, and then they went all in so they could get a champion, and they still have the picks. The NFL, or sorry, the NBA salary cap situation and the level and the second level and all this shit, the tiers of salary cap. This is all because I don't think in Adam Silver's mind it's good for the NBA if the Oklahoma City small market Thunder win the next 45 consecutive championships. So they're building a way where it's like it's basically impossible now to have a big three and have a rest of a team. And it's impossible unless some of these guys, like if you look at what Jalen Brunson did, it'll be impossible for the Oklahoma City Thunder to have some of these guys play the way they've been playing and then say, I demand what is my market value for them to all stay together. Now, the good news for them is that they have a bunch of draft picks and they could just refresh the roster and keep the guys that they need to keep and whatever. But this team is so fucking legit. Look at what they did in the playoffs last year. Look at what they're doing this year. They are going to be good for a very long time. And yeah, it's very much in play.
It's crazy though. Like I just feel, again, it's like almost flying under the radar. Just because I just think basketball just gets lost in the mix of all the football stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Basically.
Sure. Especially this time of year. And then everybody wakes up and now fucking NFL. God, I can't believe the NBA didn't, like, the NBA should have done a backdoor deal with the NFL where they were like, we'll give you $5 billion cash not to play games on Christmas.
You know, the NFL would never do that, man. They just want to conquer. They want to conquer it all. The NFL is like, I mean, if you look throughout history of, like, I don't know, some of these empires, right? Take like the Roman Empire or something, like they just want to conquer all the land until it collapses and everybody's running around with mush brain CTE.
Right.
Like that's what they want. They would never take a back end deal. I mean, the NFL is it's that's what it is at this point. You know what's crazy about the Thunder too? It's just the point differential too,
bro. Because they're a great defensive team.
That's what I'm saying. So like they're not. When you look at them or watch them, it's like.
But also they're young. They're young, and these aren't guys. These aren't guys who have been. I mean, even Shea, like. He was a guy who was undervalued on the team. You don't have none of this is built around like they were really good and then they added this star who pushed them over the top. And now that star, like, there was a couple of years ago when they were getting good and people saw this building and they were like, you should bring back Kevin Durant. And it made total sense. He gets a chance to go back. He gets a chance to like rebuild his brand. He gets a chance to whatever. And he absolutely would. They could have afforded him and they had the draft capital. If they wanted to get rid of him, they could have brought him in. He could have been the lead dog on the team. He could have won a championship. He could have whatever. But you have a guy like that. Now suddenly, night in and night out, how's our old star doing? Is he okay? How's he going to play today? Is he not going to play? Okay, he's not going to play. He needs the back-to-back off. So this is how we have to shape our offense. This is how we have to shape our defense. They don't have any of that. Their star was an unheralded guy that came over and is still fucking young. So they're just like, night in, night out, they're like, well, let's just go win another basketball game. They're not like, oh, back-to-back. Fucking came on. Oh. That's really why it's more in play than anything else. Is we're not talking about a team where, obviously, knock on wood, it doesn't happen. Obviously, one of their big, key guys gets hurt. Sure, that could change everything, but like none of them are old enough where it's just going to be wear and tear hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's Oh, I'd like to see a game there. That'd be I think that'd be a fun place to see.
I agree.
I bet they get fucking turned.
Yeah. I just heard, I think you'd really like it too if you want to listen to it. I just listened to Rick Pitino on the Roommates podcast, which was fun. But they were talking about the stadiums that get the loudest. And they were just like night in, night out, that place. Like not playoffs, they were like they're like, and obviously they're biased, but I think everybody who has been to the like, they're like fourth quarter of playoff basketball at the Garden is like kind of like there's nothing really like it. And they were like, but random Tuesday night in January in the second quarter, they're like, Oklahoma is fucking turned.
Well, I mean, what else they got going?
Right,
You know?
right. Yeah. They could go down to the Kenny Chesney Red Cup Bar and Grill or whatever it is.
The Whataburger.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have anything else going on. I just get turned.
You'll love this, by the way, Andy. Here's a little fun local lore for you. So we had a Whataburger here apparently at one point in like Oxnard.
I didn't know they're out there.
But then it went away. Yeah, but then it went away. But the sign still exists, but they took everything off the sign, and now it's just like called like a burger. It's crazy. It's very clearly like you remember, and obviously South Park did the thing. The weed shop that was in Culver City that was a former KFC, and it was like called Kind for Cures, but it was very clearly an old KFC. This is very clearly a Whataburger that they were just like, no, now it's just called a burger. I think they just took everything off the sign except the A from the middle of Whata. You know how it's like what a burger?
Yeah.
They took out what and burger, and it's just a burger. It's wild. And I'm like, I gotta go. I wonder if it tastes like Whataburger, which is pretty good.
It's pretty good. You gotta find. Hopefully, they have a security guard that's strapped in there too.
Yeah,
just like we saw that turret one down in Texas.
Bro, the burger was whatever, but I still fucking love that. I got a root beer milkshake, not a root beer float, a root beer milkshake. Just bomb.
Oh yeah, man. That was the second time we went to Whataburger. That was in Houston. Me and Nikki D risking our lives for that root beer milkshake. We went in the fucking hood, bro.
Yeah.
It's always fun when
you're asleep.
It's always fun like when you're in the hood and you don't realize it, and then you're like, oh shit, I'm in a fucking bad area. Like that was one of those. Like we're driving and I was like, ooh, yeah. Let's make this happen.
Is that a gang on bikes? That's never good.
And Nick was like, I'm gonna come home and relax by flooding our entire Airbnb. I think you guys made a baseball trade, didn't you? You said you want to talk about?
We did. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm sure I'll talk about this at length over the next couple months with, all that's going to be happening in baseball. But there was a Jeff Passan article that came out, I guess it would be last week. That was kind of just like it was sort of a hot stove report, like here's what's happening around baseball. Here's what some teams might do. Here's what some teams might not do. And he wrote that Brandon Nimmo might get traded. And I was like, it's interesting. Because he has no trade clause for one. And I'll give you my thoughts on Brandon Nimmo. And I think they are related to the trade. So I like Brandon Nimmo. Great Met, lifelong Met, from Montana or Wyoming, and just a guy who you really can't complain at what Brandon Nimmo has been as a Met. He's continually improved, best attitude, always smiling. Other teams hated that he fucking sprints down to first base after a walk, but he's done everything the Mets have asked, and he's been clutch, and he's been good. Now, the Mets have an issue in the outfield in that they have Juan Soto, who is great, but is so clearly meant to be a left fielder. Like, he's not a great fielder, but he's also not like people act like he's like a dumpster fire. He has a great arm, which makes him a suitable right fielder, but he should be playing left field. And if you get into a situation with the Mets where you're like, well, if the Mets are going to sign Pete Alonso, which I sure hope they do, then Pete Alonso can't transition into one day being a DH, and Juan Soto also transition to being a DH, or does Juan Soto transition into being a first baseman? I don't know. Okay, then Pete's your DH. So they have a lot of question marks. But there's a lot of guys out there, Kyle Tucker being one of them, who with the Mets money, the Mets could go and get, right? But the Mets can't go get Kyle Tucker and put him in right field and then move Soto to left field and then move Brandon Nimmo to center field, because now you just have a devastatingly bad defensive outfield. So the issue with the Mets, in my opinion, this is a factor in it, is I think that they know if Juan Soto is going to play the outfield, then the rest of the outfield needs to be really strong defensively. And in a perfect world, if there isn't an above average defender at one of the other positions, then Juan Soto's got to be in left. So to me, I think this entire move is based around two things. One, you get a veteran who can come in and play Gold Glove defense at second base. All of a sudden, the defense up the middle of your infield is shored up. You have Lindor and a veteran defensive second baseman. You're not doing a Jeff McNeil. You're not doing an Acuna. You're not doing a Brett Beatty. You're just like, here we go. Which to me, no more important two positions that should stay down the field together the whole time than your shortstop and your second baseman. Just like let those guys have a fucking relationship. Now, Simeon isn't as good as Nimmo, bottom line, like as a production standpoint. He's older. He's getting paid more. In a vacuum, I hate the deal. In a vacuum, Marcus Simeon for Brandon Nimmo, I hate the deal. But shoring up your second base and now giving you a ton of flexibility in the outfield, go, okay, if we sign Kyle Tucker, we can put him in right and we can put Soto in left and we can get ourselves a good defensive center fielder and fuck it, let's go. Or we were going to figure out how to trade for Fernando Tatis Jr. so that they can get out of that contract because we don't care about getting out of contracts because we're so rich. Fine, great. We're going to do Bellinger, and now Bellinger can also play first base. It just gives them more flexibility. So this is one of those things, and we've talked about it a lot when it comes to trades. This is one I like this trade if it means something else is coming, which I think it does. In a vacuum, I fucking hate it. And shout out to Brandon Nimmo for just being an all-time great Met. And good luck in Texas.
Did you see? I don't know if you saw this last week. Baseball announced their new TV deals.
No.
So their new TV deals are going to be with NBC, Netflix, and ESPN. This was last Wednesday. So the new agreements will give ESPN rights to out-of-market games for all 30 teams and 6 in-market clubs. NBC Peacock will become the new home of first round of playoffs and Sunday Night Baseball. On Netflix, will showcase the standalone opening day in prime time, the Home Run Derby, and the Field of Dreams game. So they're only doing a few games. So basically, remember when ESPN backed out of their contract? Basically, they're gonna continue that same contract. It was for like $1.65 billion over 3 seasons, but I think ESPN's getting more out of it. But they are adding, they are actually surprisingly adding some money on top of that. So NBC Peacock will pay nearly $200 million per year, and Netflix will dole out $50 million for just those few games next year.
It's good, man. It's good for baseball to like be making some money and like, you know, having some relevance.
Yeah. They are going to be making some more money. So, I mean, it was a gamble.
I also like just generally, listen, I like NBC being in the sports business because they're not fucking, they have a good sports history. And so, you know, I think even just the NBA and NBC, I think it injected some life into the NBA. I think it injected some life into NBC. I think they could do the same thing both places for baseball too.
Have you watched NBA on Amazon at all?
A little bit.
How's that?
It's fine. I mean, you know me, like the whole world gets way more worked up over the TV stuff than I do. Like I'm just watching, like I used to back in the day when I had the NBA, my NBA streaming package password. They used to be running fucking graphic lists. Like you could just like watch like raw feeds of the game. I was watching the NBA that way. I was like, I like this better. Like,
Yeah.
but to me, the whole world freaks out way more than I do about, the broadcast crew, the play-by-play team, the in-studio team, like whatever. Like if it's not the playoffs and I'm sitting there watching a Mets game a basketball game, or a football game, baseball is different. Obviously there is no break. If it's a primetime game, Sunday night football, Sunday night, whatever, halftime is a break for me to go do some other shit I need to do, and I'll come back in 20 minutes. I'm not sitting there going like, fucking, who's the fucking dude from the Cowboys?
Jason Garrett.
Jason, I like people like Jason Garrett. I'm like, bro, first of all, it's an embarrassment. Yes, obviously. But like, I'm not watching it.
Yeah, I agree.
In the playoffs, NBA playoffs, I like a halftime show. I like a pregame show. I like a whatever. But like, mostly I'm stepping away. Like, there's a whole culture of people whose like jobs and online presence is like awful announcing and talking about announcers and the halftime show. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. So NBA on Amazon, not horrible enough for me to notice, or great enough for me to fucking be like, oh, this is great.
Gotcha.
It's kind of what made the NBA on TNT such an elite program, is like you didn't want to turn that off.
Yeah.
You weren't like, I'm stepping away. You're like, I got to see what Shaq's going to say at fucking halftime.
Sure. Let's see here. Hotline. We do have a hotline here. Let's pull that bad boy up. 859-832-0478.
Give us a ring. If you're in Vegas, I'll be there all week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just a night off for Thanksgiving. So yeah, if you're in Vegas, I want to watch some football on Thursday.
You're doing a Thanksgiving in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I've done it a couple times.
I'm working with Eddie Ift, and him and his family are going to my wife was supposed to come down. I don't know if she is coming down after all. But we were going to just like go to a restaurant for Thanksgiving. But now I'm like, she might not be coming. And I'm like, listen, for me, when you work Brad Garrett's, it's great because it's one show a night. So it's like, bro, this whole week's just going to be me like getting some work done, editing, going to the gym, like easiest fucking week ever. So I might not even do anything. It might be a fucking KFC Thanksgiving again.
Could be worse.
Could be worse, yeah.
I mean, you could be forced to watch the Raiders.
Yeah. Which, because I'll just be stuck in a hotel room, I probably will. Well, they're not playing on Thanksgiving Day, right? No.
No fool.
No fool.
You know what I'm thankful for? My 15 Black Raiders hats, man.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, fool. You know what I'm thankful for? That they make jeans that are longer than shorts, but shorter than pants, fool.
You know what I'm thankful for? My two pit bulls. One is named Bo, the other one's named Jackson.
Yeah. I got two pit bulls. I got Howie Long and Howie Short, dude.
Oh, man. Yeah. So temperatures are going to drop here. It's going to be cold here. Little Thanksgiving. This sucks taking kids like when they're tiny. When it's cold, you're like, fuck.
Taking them anywhere because you got to like bundle them all up and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you just get them Snuggies? Right on.
Bro, if it was up to me, let's don't even start. If it was up to me, I'd have a kid in a onesie every fucking day. 24/7. Like what are we doing here? I mean, it's again women.
I mean, listen, there is a world like think about all the fucking future movies where eventually everybody was just in a onesie all the time. Like there is sort of a higher level thinking of that. Like if we weren't all so focused on what everybody's wearing and whatever, like in these utopian societies that sci-fi writers, everybody just goes, I don't care about branding, and we all wear the same thing all the time.
That's true. That is true. Exactly. But have you heard about the movie The Substance?
No. Oh, that's the one with Demi Moore, right?
Yeah, I watched it. That's what I watched this weekend.
How was it?
It's pretty good. I didn't know what it was about. It was it's like a horror sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. A little more gory than I anticipated. Or I didn't know anything about it walking in, but she looks amazing for 63. I can't get over that. I mean, MILF, GILF, she is like the whole 9 yards for 63. I'm just like, damn.
That's because she's on The Substance.
Well, you'll see. I wouldn't want to give it away. Not that you'll watch it, but I bet your lady would like it. It's more of like tackling, a lot of issues women go through as they get older and just all that. All right. That's the show, I think.
See you guys on Friday. Happy birthday, Ruther.
Thanks, man. We'll do it up on Friday and
have a happy Thanksgiving. Have a happy birthday. Have a good Black Friday.
We'll be here Black Friday.
Yeah.
Promo code YouTube for free. I don't know. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on Friday. Have a great holiday. And as always, stay dirty.